Hello, authors, book lovers, and storytellers. Welcome to another Reader's Magnet featured author interview, and we are currently live in all our streaming platforms. That's YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. My name is Rob, and I am your host for today. And together with me right now is one of Reader's Magnet's featured author interview and one of our Amazing Bonanza winners. She is an avid reader, aspiring baker, and passionate traveler. Her books, like herself, unfold against the backdrop of the West Coast, where lush forests and rugged coastal shores set the scene. When she's not at her keyboard, Carol explores the world around her, enjoys downtime at home, or navigates the antics of her lively cats. And today, she joins us to discuss her book, The Mrs. Claus Contract. Please help me welcome Miss Carol Kinnee. Carol, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Well, I'm doing swell and awesome as well. So, for all our viewers here, and as you can see, the book is being posted there. So, Carol, can you please show us your book and tell us what is it all about?
All right. Well, this is my book, The Mrs. Claus Contract. And it's kind of a funny, think Hallmark Christmas movie type book. Sam he's in the military. He's been declared missing in action. They find him. He's pretty banged up and injured, so he kind of retreats to the safety of the family Christmas tree farm. It's kind of run into it's the poor Christmas tree farm is not doing well, and he takes that back over and he decides to hide out there. He has to find something to do, so he takes a job at the local market as a Santa Claus, but he doesn't want anybody to know, so he never shows his face without being in his Santa stuff, because he can go and hide out at the farm after. And Sophie is his ex-fiance. They broke up over a Zoom call. She thinks he's still dead. She has no concept. And she actually takes a job at the market as Mrs. Claus because she needs to make some quick money to sort of buy her mother's house back, because her mother lost her money to a speculator. So anyway, she's going to try and do that. So they come together, but Sophie knows that Sam is alive. She discovers that. But he doesn't know that she knows that. So she's just trying to bring him back to life and make him find Christmas and be himself again, instead of just this grinchy, cranky guy that doesn't want to have anything to do with anybody or anything. So anyway, in a nutshell.
So it seems like Sam is kind of part the Grinch and part of lost his Christmas spirit. And it's always it's going to be up to Mrs. Claus to bring back that Christmas spirit.
Mrs. Claus has to bring him back to life, for sure. Need a little Christmas magic.
Christmas magic it is. And I can really sense that there's going to be like a romance and comedy type of book. And a lot of people would really love to read these types of books, because it's trying to getting a breakthrough or something fresh when it comes to the genre itself. But Carol, just one quick question. How long have you been writing, and when did you start writing then?
I have been writing forever. If you ask my sisters, they'll tell you that before I was a writer, I was a huge storyteller. So I would keep them entertained when we were doing anything like dishes after a big family dinner or something. And I'd tell them these long sagas of stories, and they would just be like, okay, well, what's going to happen next? And they would go on for days and days and days. So after that, I started writing in notebooks. My mom was a teacher. I think she wanted me to write a lot because she thought it would make my handwriting better, but it didn't work. But anyways, so I would write and write and write. And my mom actually handed me a couple of these old notebooks about a year ago. And I was like, oh my God, I did write so much. It's just amazing. After that, I didn't write for a while. Then I went back to it when my kids were probably in elementary school. Went to the Surrey International Writers Conference in Surrey, British Columbia, and just kind of got right back on the wagon and started writing again. And seriously writing, and then planning to publish.
Oh, awesome. So, and within this book, the Mrs. Claus Contract, is there do you have a favorite line within your book, or a favorite paragraph that you'd like to share with us?
Oh, I do. I have a favorite paragraph. I'll read it to you since I'm not
Sure.
remember it. All right. So this takes place, it's just kind of Sophie recalling when she and Sam broke up. So by some karmic fluke, the video screen flickered, turning so crystal clear she saw the tiny lines around Sam's mouth, the sadness in his eyes. Had he believed Tiffany because the cracks in their relationship were already there? That was the end. Sophie's last image of Sam was from a Zoom meeting with the audio floating in and out and his face frozen on the screen. one minuscule second before the call dropped.
Oh. Oh, I guess with this paragraph that you place in there, I think it comes from something emotional. Is it? If I just want to ask you, Carol, is this something that you had experienced before, or is it something that someone shared to you? Because as you were reading it, I could really feel that there's like this this string of emotions coming from you reading that. Is it something is relatable to you, or is something that someone shared to you in the past?
No, it was just, I was trying to think of how she would feel. I mean, she thinks he's dead. She has no concept that he's
Hmm.
alive. And there were so many things she wanted to say. Their relationship sort of blew up and it was over. And when you think there's so many relationships, they just come to an end. That person's the number one person in your entire life. And then all of a sudden they're gone, it's over, and you never see them again. And I just kind of was thinking that must be a really terrible spot to be in because you never actually got to finish anything. So I kind of wanted to do that to poor Sophie and
Well,
put her in that.
I gotta tell you though, that message though, it's again, I said I felt that inspiration though, and I felt that something was it was really coming from somewhere. But you placing your shoes into one of the characters in your book and trying to convey that emotion is really something that some viewers, some authors and some writers try to convey, and it's really evident that within that just that short paragraph that you had shared with me, really conveys that emotion. But just wanted to ask you, coming with the book, The Mrs. Claus Contract, what really inspired? What was the story behind it? Like, what really inspired you to create this book? I'm just genuinely curious here, Carol.
Well, I really love Hallmark movies, and I really
Mm-hmm.
like Happily Ever After, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted a romantic comedy. I know it's not a comedy that she thinks he's dead and all that, but when she
Oh,
discovers that he's alive, she can't help but feel like wanting a little bit of revenge, not in a bad way, because she really thinks he's hurting and she really wants to help him kind of get it back together. But as far as
mm,
she's concerned at the beginning of the book, that ship has sailed no matter what. She's just going to help him on his way and then walk away when he's fine. That's her plan. And she thinks that Mrs. Claus will make that happen because by talk Mrs. Claus can talk to him and get him to speak. And people tend I am a nurse too, so I speak to a lot
okay.
of people in the day, and people sometimes underestimate the elderly. So he's
Oh,
kind of looking at Mrs. Claus, going, "Well, maybe I'm okay to say something to her because she's an elderly lady, and she's probably just because she's kind of spinny, a little bit spinny. She likes to play the Mrs. Claus as a bit of a spinny, kind of funny. So
okay.
she's thinking that she can get information out of him. It'll be easy to pump him for information.
Well, hey, if ever all the readers though, and all of our folks watching the stream right now, if ever you're interested and you want to know more about this though, feel free to get a copy though. It's always available on Amazon and Barnes and Noble. But Carol, also one more thing, because again, what kind of reader reactions do you find most gratifying or surprising when people check your book, read your book? Like, what was something that really stick with you the most?
Somebody said to me that they really, really loved the book and that they wanted to
Mhm.
just go and live there, to have a Christmas tree farm and just live in the town and just celebrate Christmas and just be there. And I thought, wow, that's really great. If I can convey that and make my town so Christmassy that people would like to live there or live on a Christmas tree farm, then maybe I'm doing the right thing.
Hey, if ever those are the reactions of your readers, I gotta tell you though, you painting that picture to them and them, because again, all readers, when we are so, again, you're an avid reader, everyone's an avid reader, but when we read these books, we get so immersed and then we think to ourselves, like, I want to live in that place. And if your readers are telling you that they want to live in the picture that you just painted, then I got to tell you that you are being effective when it comes to painting that picture for them. And I would understand that it's something gratifying and as well surprising for you that some readers had said it. Because again, without any inputs or whatnot, they just told you like, "Hey, Carol, the Christmas tree farm you painted, I want to be there and want to live there." And that is something that would really make you feel happy. Am I correct?
Correct. And I would like to live on a Christmas tree farm too.
Hey, oh, so and Carol, because again, going with this clause, and again, there are people who love your book as well. Are you also planning to, let's say, make a sequel for this book?
I've thought about it, But if I was making a
Hmm.
sequel, obviously it wouldn't be with Sam and Sophie. But I kind of liked my character, my Mrs. Claus, Eleanor, Mrs. Claus, and I liked the
Hmm.
way she did things. And she can't help kind of meddling in romantic situations. So a lot of what she did is kind of just trying to bring Sam and Sophie together. So I was
Hmm.
thinking, well, she could go on. There's lots of places I could have a Christmas guide tree, because part of the Mrs. Claus is that they have a tree. It's called a guide tree, and it kind of guides. It's all hooked up so it can send out information to Santa's sleigh to keep them on track, that kind of
Oh.
thing. So I thought I could plant another guide tree somewhere, and then possibly on the northern coast of Vancouver Island, and I could just drop a poor little abandoned reindeer, lost reindeer up there, and have a veterinarian who can't stand people that keep exotic animals, and have a girl that's hiding out and finds this little reindeer. So there could be all sorts of friction there. I could go with that. I could just kind of play with that and make it Christmassy again. And I like writing Christmas books. They're fun.
Well, okay, I can really see the fun, and I can see it in your face that you really love what you have created with this Christmas book. And again, but also, Carol, are there any sneak peeks or any can you give a sneak peek for any upcoming projects or any ideas you're currently working on as of the moment?
Well, currently I'm writing, I think I'm going to be writing 5 to 6 novellas, kind of based on, I
Oh,
took a trip to England last year with some friends, and I'm a real
okay.
history buff. I love history. I can totally get lost in it. We plodded through lots of graveyards and looked at old tombstones. I know it doesn't sound that exciting, but went to a bunch of abandoned old castles and just kind of wandered about and did all that kind of thing. And I was totally in my element. But I can't help thinking about all the people that were there before. I mean, London itself is over 2,000 years old. And you just think, anywhere you go, you could be, there could be a ghost story or something. So I thought I would like to write 5 or 6 romantic, like contemporary romantic stories, but have a bit
Hmm.
of a ghost story background to them so that you can mix in the history and you can build a ghost story. And so that's kind of what I'm working on right now. So,
Well, I gotta say though, 5 to 6 novellas though is gonna be a huge project, and
it is.
I'm really looking forward to see those creations that you'll be having. Again, you are filled with inspiration and a lot of things right now. So this 5 to 6 novellas, once they come up though, I believe that once you're gonna be doing with this projects, people can follow you through social media to get updates about this. Is that correct, Carol?
Sure. Mhm.
Okay, so for people who love the social media genre, feel free to follow Carol's social media. Basically, we'll be posting it. For Facebook. That's Carol.Kinnee.79. So that's Carol.Kinnee.79. That's for Facebook. And for Instagram, that's Kin Carol. That's Kinncarol. So, Carol, one last question. Just want to at least get our viewers and also some future readers of your book. What do you hope that your readers will take away after reading your book? Because this is a question raised by author Susan. She asked, "Is what do you hope your readers will take away after reading this book?"
Well, I kind of want my writers to take themselves away. That sounds odd, but I want them to lose themselves in the story. I want them to be able to just feel that they're there. I want them cheering
Hmm.
for Sam and Sophie and wanting them to find their happily ever after, and just want to entertain. I think the biggest thing is I really want to entertain.
Awesome. And if ever entertainment is a game, and I can really see that this book is really entertaining, and it's also in time for the book buying season this December, because again, it's in time for the seasons. And if people would really love to get a copy of this book, again, for people and all our viewers, this is Carol Kinnee, author of the book A Mrs. Claus Contract. It is available on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and also on her website. That's carolkinnee.com. That's carolkinnee.com. So, because again, as her books also said it, because sometimes love needs a little North Pole magic to nudge it on its way. So, Carol, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it. And I hope in the future though we get to talk about this 5 to 6 novellas because it's something that I'm also looking
Me
forward to
too.
read though.
All right. Thanks so much, Rob.
Okay, so Carol, again, and also as we say here at a Reader's Magnet, and to everyone, we share your stories with the world. Carol, thank you very much for your time, and have a good one. Bye bye.
Thanks so much. Bye bye.